besties, what's up? My name is Meg. Welcome back to my channel. I am not gonna lie, this is my second attempt at an intro. So let's see if I can do it correct. We are reading none other than the king of horror, Stephen King. We are reading a book, Insomnia. Since my blind date with a book, I am not going to go into every Stephen King thinking that it's 100% horror. I did have a book bestie on my book account tell me that there are other Stephen King books that if I want more of a spooky vibe to go that route. I read the back of this book and was so enthralled and was so excited. So that is what we are going to be reading. Here is the thing. This book is chunky. It is 789 pages. Now, with reading a book this thick, we have to break the spine respectfully. So that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go break the spine respectfully. I'm actually really excited. So let me read you the back before we respectfully break the spine. Ralph Roberts never expected to live out his remaining golden years mourning the death of his beloved wife. He also never expected to begin suffering from chronic insomnia for the first time in his life. Each night, he wakes up a little bit earlier until he's barely sleeping at all. During his overnight walks, he's observing some strange things going on here in Derry, Maine, and they're more than sleep-deprived hallucinations. There's definitely a mean streak that's always been running through this small New England city. Underneath its ordinary surface, awesome and terrifying forces are at work. The dying has been going on in Derry for a long, long time, and Ralph Roberts will soon find that lack of sleep is the least of his worries. I thought that sounded so good. We're so super excited. Blind date with the book kind of messed me up because this was going to be my first Stephen King book, but I guess that fate decided otherwise. Okay, hi, hello. So we started Stephen King's Insomnia. We are right there where the bookmark is. We are officially 35 whole pages in. I was reading extremely slow for the prologue because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything important. Now, I think that this book might be a little similar to Salem's Lot, where it doesn't immediately grab my attention. However, I need it to. I need it to grab my attention fast. I'm hoping that I get something good out of this book. That I don't necessarily know if I want to be scared with this book, but I definitely want that thriller vibe. Hello and good morning. So yesterday we didn't do too much reading. We made it that far into our reading. We made it to chapter 2. We are going to continue reading today. So yeah, but first I woke up this morning at like 5:45. We're gonna drink an Alani real quick. Of course, blue slush. We are going to get started on our Stephen King journey yet again. I'm really excited about this story for some reason. This story just sounds so good. I'm so super excited. We are now that far into the book. We made it to chapter 3, page 79. So far, we're starting to see the effects of Ralph with the insomnia and how it's really starting to take over and how things aren't necessarily becoming the best circumstances. I don't have too much of an opinion on what's going on so far. Ralph seems to be the type of person that loves and genuinely cares about everybody in his community. And I love that. I love that. I love the fact that Ralph is not only, I don't want to say he's relying on his community, but he is definitely a prominent figure in his community. He is just so overly welcoming to everybody there. And he's noticed things slide by over the past year with his wife passing and how the insomnia is really starting to take a grip and hold on to Ralph. He's trying every remedy that's possible under the sun in order to try to get himself to sleep. And he is just, from what I can tell, just such a kind, caring old man. I think they said that he was 70, that him and his wife, it was always just them, that they could never have any kids. So he's just very caring altogether. And I love that about him. I love that about him. I think it's amazing and fantastic and great. So that's kind of where we're at so far. Like I said, not very far into the book. Okay, hi, hello. It's been a few hours since I last updated y'all. When I last updated you, I was telling you how Ralph was getting little to no sleep. He is almost to the point of no sleep at all. He is just now becoming aware of all of the undergoings in his town. I'm very confused as to how big this town is supposed to be. So we started the day off at page 54 and we are now at 206. So we are that far into the book. I want to say we are about a quarter of the way through. We are on chapter 7. We do not have a plan for tonight. Our plan does indeed mean continuing Insomnia by Stephen King. We're going to read as much as we can. Yeah, I'll update you when I make further progress. Okay, so we read a couple more chapters, made it just a little bit further in the book. I want to say that we're about ready to be halfway-ish. Alright, besties, so we made a TikTok. Actually, we've made 2 TikToks, and I think you should go check out my TikTok and my Instagram, linked down in the bio. But anyways, they will be posted shortly after this video is released, sometime I would assume, or before, who knows. But I want to say we're exactly halfway now. We made significant progress. We're almost done with chapter 13. Ooh, maybe we're not halfway. Maybe we're a little bit under, but we have 414 pages left to go. So far, we are loving this. At first, I really thought that this book was going to be like unreliable narrator. Like, are we being the ones who are going crazy? At first, I thought it was gonna all end up being just a dream. Still haven't figured that one out quite yet, if that's actually true or not. So we're not 100% sure about that. But anyways, we are having a little bit of bad anxiety, but nonetheless, we are doing a significant amount of reading. So we're super happy with how much reading we have been able to get done just in the short period of time. Okay, so just a little update on where we're at. We are now that far into the book. I say we're just slightly over halfway now. It's categorized as horror. I will say this yet again. It is not horror. However, there are like horror themes to it. There are some kind of spooky things, a little bit like that. Another thing, however, is that this feels a lot like a psychological thriller. Now, where I'm going with that is I think Stephen King is slowly becoming one of my favorite authors. I think we should have a third book for a test to make sure, but I'm enjoying this book. What I just discovered where I'm at in the book had me dropping my jaw, like literally picked my jaw up off the ground and went, it's all like clicking into place. Like he's so easily like leaving out these little bits of foreshadowing. Like the way he tells his stories are just so immaculate of how he lays out his stories and how he plans them. And I can't help but admire it. I've never felt this strongly over like admiration as I do right now for this book in particular. I know that this book is not usually his most well-known, but I definitely think that we need to talk about this book more and that more people need to read about this book because this book is getting to be so good. Granted, it's long, it's chunky, you're in for a ride. You gotta lock in. Just lock in and read it. Kind of be like me, break the spine. We like a broken spine, a correctly broken spine. We're going to continue. Okay, so I think I have found my stopping point for the day. We made a great chunk of progress. We are so close to being done. It's not even funny. We're so close. We are on page 493. So we have approximately less than 300 pages left to go. I think it's a good stopping point because I was in the early 200s, so I think I read like another 200 pages or so. So tomorrow should be an easy, if I read all day long again, it should be easy. We should be good. I'm really enjoying this book. I wish more people knew about this book. Like, when I picked it up at Barnes & Noble, I didn't know much about it. And when I looked it up on Goodreads, it was all in Spanish. It's really starting to get good. If you pick this book up, I will not lie to you, it does take a while before it begins to really get interesting. Something I like about Stephen King's writing from the past, from Salem's Lot and from Insomnia, are the fact that he drops these little breadcrumbs that are like just enough where it's like you question whether or not that part is important. And let me tell you, it's important. Well, maybe not everything's important, but this was definitely something that was good. It's a nice thriller. It's kind of like a psychological thriller. Definitely has the supernatural aspects to it. Nothing, as far as I know, nothing of it has been scary. But once again, we don't know if I can be scared by books. Okay, good morning. I wanted to showcase my sweatshirt. I am in love with this sweatshirt. I got it off of Etsy, so I'll put the link down below if you want to get your own. We are starting off this morning with our obvious blue slush Alani. We are that far into Stephen King's Insomnia. Now we are, I want to say, 296 pages left to go. Now, today is the last day that I would like to be reading this. So we're really going to chug along. And yeah, so we're going to set up an ambiance and get started. Bam! Okay, so we are just a little bit further into Insomnia. We are that far in. Let me do the math. We have about 180 pages left to go. So we are determined to finish. Yes, sir. I will update you when we are a little bit less than like 50 pages. Okay, hi. So it's been some time. We are 100 pages away from finishing Insomnia by Stephen King. Oh my gosh. Okay. So final thoughts before I completely finish the book. I'm loving the slow escapade that Stephen King takes you through with this book. At first, I thought it was going to be annoying to the point where it was like not everything that was a part of the book should have been included. However, it's all important somehow. And it really snowballs. I'd say by the time that you get to that, part one is very little bit on the slower side. Yes, it's just a little bit slow. Part two is where things start to amp up a little bit. They start to speed up. Part three, you are going downhill as fast as you possibly can, and that is currently where we're at. Is we're going downhill. You know, how if you're on a skateboard and you're not zooming side to side in order to stay at a somewhat normal speed. Yeah, if you go down a hill and you're just going down straight, you're just zooming. You're zooming. That's how part three goes of Insomnia. So if that doesn't kind of convince you to read this book, I don't know what will. I'm gonna finish the book and then we'll wrap things up. Okay, hi, hello. So I did indeed end up crying. We cried at the end. Insomnia was so good. So good. This is not horror in any way. So if you want to read a Stephen King and are afraid that it's going to be horror, this one is perfect. I promise you. It has elements that are more thriller than anything and very supernatural, but nothing is horrific. Now, what am I rating this, you may ask? I'm rating this a 4.75. I don't necessarily think it's a 5-star. However, I'm still very, very content with the ending. I'm very content with the entire storyline. I'm very content with this book. All in all, great book. I think Stephen King has become one of my new favorite authors, and I will most likely be reading every single one of his books. Is that something I can actually do? Who knows? We'll see. Only one way to find out. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy us reading through a Stephen King novel for the last week of spooky season. I was a little bummed out, not gonna lie, that Insomnia did not have anything kind of scary, but I was still genuinely so content. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Do all of the YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you in a bit. Bye!